Well, it's time for round 3 on day 1 here of the cross division. We're going to have a matchup between the Chicago Wind and the Bay Area Blasters here at the Rock Hill Sports Complex in South Carolina. I'm Matt Hetherington. I'm joined by Sean O'Neill. Sean, the first 4 matches that we've seen today have been won by the East Coast. What's going on here with the West? Are they in trouble? Do they have the team ability to turn things around? I think the substitutes are really having a bigger impact here than some people might have thought.
Yeah, they really are, and the East have just been dominant. They've been coming out of the blocks really strong. First match, doubles, they've been dominating, and more importantly, the golden game.
Yeah. I mean, and this one, actually, if you look at the lineup overall that we've had a peek at so far, looks like it could be a pretty close tie. But for the most part, I think apart from the Princeton Revolution match, most of the matches have been a little bit one-sided. If you look at the lineup for the Chicago Wind and the Bay Area Blasters, we're starting out with Ma Jinbao against Alexandru Kaku, Daniele Pinto and Senora Silva follow up. The doubles, we've seen Damien Provost and Emily Tan in action already. As a pair, they've started to show some better results. They'll play against Ma Jinbao and Angie Tan, so there's a bit of a sibling face-off there between sisters in the doubles. Timothy Wong, 2-time US Olympian. We're seeing him playing for the Wind for the first time, so he's making his MLTT debut against Alexei Duan. And Damien Provost takes on Tao Wenzhang in the 4th match. A little bit of a surprise to see Tao playing in the 4th singles. But I guess the Chicago Wind have kind of pushed Damien down there as well.
Yeah, and I mean, we've seen Tao Wenzhang play so many doubles matches, so going with Ma Jinbao to swap that around to possibly get some better results there. But yeah, this is going to be a very tight and interesting match. Chicago had been having difficulties, but they just got their last win. They played very solid.
Well, one of the things, like when we talked about this cross division, we talked about an opportunity for the teams to get more points and improve their standing in their respective divisions. But actually, the East Coast won all the matches, and the West Coast lost them all. So in terms of actually being able to make some ground, I mean, I just talked to Nikhil Kumar about this, and I was like, well, you know, the Spinners had 3 wins in the West Division last week. I was like, this loss is, you know, it was a pretty decisive loss. And he was like, it doesn't matter because all of the other teams on the West lost as well. We're still in the lead. We're still comfortable. So,
yeah, ultimately is you just want to win points. Every game counts. And obviously with the golden game being worth 6, but if you can sweep, do a 3-0 here, 3-0 there, it's when you go into the golden game with that 5-point lead and then you win the golden game, all of a sudden you're talking about a 17 to 4 type of deal.
yeah.
So that's where you can really make up ground. Even if you're not doing so much in your division, it just gets you points closer and closer.
Of course, you can track a lot of things going on with Major League Table Tennis, not just here on the live stream on YouTube and on the Bally's Live app, but on the MLTT.com website, the team standings, individual stats. You have singles, doubles, golden game, win-loss records, and power standings. Plenty of interesting stuff to follow. This first matchup between Romanian powerhouse Alexandru Kaku taking on Ma Jinbao. He's a player that's kind of skipped between China and the US quite a lot in the last 4 or 5 years. Has had some really great results. WTT contender Lanzhou in China made the quarterfinal, lost to the then world ranked 17 Felix Lebrun, 9 in the 7th, I think.
Yep, you can still watch that on YouTube.
So he's actually 122 world ranking currently. But you know, we saw in the last MLTT matchup that still not invincible by any means. So this is going to be an interesting startup. You have Kaku, who plays big swings, big power off both wings. And then Jing Bao, who's more controlled, quick counters, close to the table.
He's able to defend usually that first attack, either with a counter attack. The Kaku, when he lays into the ball, it's not coming back. Problem is getting into position against somebody. With Ma Jianbao, his serves are so effective. He's doing reverse pendulum, and he's also almost every single time getting his forehand into play by stepping around. Great ability to go both to the forehand and backhand sides when he's attacking. These games are quick. You can jump out to a nice lead. Anything can happen.
2-1.
Ma Jianbao making his debut for the Bay Area Blasters. 4-5 in singles, 12-9 in the Golden game. He's a little slow off the mark.
1-3.
Especially with his singles. This is a tough pressure position to have him coming out playing the first match.
And there's the side spin, top spin serve.
2-3.
Kaku is actually 12th on the MLTT standings. He was 7th.
4-2.
11-7 in singles, 2-1 in doubles, 21-19 in the Golden game. So he's positive on all fields. So.
First spin is so heavy that if Kazaku's not in position, he's going to loop it off the end of the table. There's just too much spin to bring down. But if you're going to beat somebody like Ma Jianbao, you've got to win the first game. Can't afford to dump the first game and think that you're going to come back and scare him or put the fear in his eyes, because he just gets stronger every game that goes in. And that's a nice combination there by Kaku.
I think one of the problems for Ma is that because he plays a little bit softer, there are plenty of opportunities for Kaku to kind of put himself in a more dominant position in the rallies.
6-4.
I would almost think for Kaku to be a little aggressive on the serve, get away from the short game, don't get into the stepping in and stepping out, but go for something where if there's a weak return, he'll have something to swing at.
Yeah, I think when you're playing against a player who's quite technically precise, you're kind of sometimes better off playing loose.
Yeah. Getting into a little bit more of a slugfest versus who's got, there's a nice shot there. Ma gets it back somehow.
6.
I think that was offsides in soccer. Went past the ball as it was coming back at him. So strong. You better push it short or do something with it, because if it's just a deep push, Ma's going to hit your elbow every single time. That's beautiful.
It's all about time for Kaku. You give him a little bit too much time to wind up, and
he's going to connect. And that's not the problem. And look at how well placed that ball is, straight down the line. Good idea to move his serve over to the forehand side just to give a different look. Anything to disrupt Ma Jianbao's ready position or the angles that he's normally accustomed to returning the serve from. for it.
It's really interesting to see Kaku backing off the table that much. Jindao's not playing too much power against those softer or higher shots. Like Kaku gives up the table a bit too quickly.
Lucky break there.
9,
Service popped up, but didn't pop out. Now Kaku with 2 serves at 9-all. Big point.
10,
Very big point
9.
for Chicago, getting the entire team on their feet. So smart, so smart. Getting that first big spin in. Of course, clipping the net doesn't hurt.
Margin Bao just kind of looks back hopelessly at his bench.
It just seems like Ma has a big target. Like everyone wants to beat him because he's been playing so well internationally that no one has anything really to lose, and they're swinging. And that's exactly how you want to get off to a good start on Friday night.
So Alexandru Kaku just off to a great start. I mean, he's a player that really hits the ground swinging, I would say. Just amazing power once he gets in first. And honestly, for him, in some of these situations where Ma's attacking, he has been okay to drift back a little bit and kind of fish around and see if he can take a pot shot at the ball.
Especially off the backhand side when he backs up, because it does allow him to play a ball down the line, which I don't think Ma Jinbao is expecting. So the question is, can Kaku get a good lead in this game and guarantee?
Game 2, win, serve, 0-0. Zero, 1.
Jinbao needs to get a good start here in game 2. You can see a lot of shots in the first game and now here as well. He just gets caught out of position. Even when he has quite a lot of time to move, just tends to reach for the ball instead.
Great angle by Ma.
2-1.
Just taking his time, finding the open court. Just loves to do the inside out
1,
forehand.
3.
And aside from the YouTube site and app, you can also watch on Bally's Live. Available in Google Play and Apple Store.
1-4.
I think the danger for Kaku is if he gets comfortable backing off the table. Because we've seen him already a couple of points this game, giving up the table quite early. He doesn't want to end up lobbing all the time, especially if Ma gets the chance to play that wide angle, he's going to win the point every time.
The only thing that Kaku can do is possibly, in that first ball to the backhand, go for something big because
Like that.
he's on the ground. And counter punching, but also going for a winner at the same time. Edge, of course.
The back edge.
4-4.
So in a blink of the eye, we're back tied up 4-4. That's a beautiful backhand loop down the line.
5-4.
I think Ma's just really struggling with the quality of Kazaku's topspin. Ma's definitely stepped up the offensive a bit on the serve return.
Nice flip.
5-6.
I just like the confidence that Kazaku is demonstrating. He's out there to challenge and battle. He's not afraid. He's taking his big shots. Again, with a one-game lead, changes the dynamics quite a bit. That's beautiful. Great combo.
7.
Majin just doesn't have the power to go toe-to-toe with Kazaku.
No, it's just that the first ball has good spin, but Kazaku, by stepping back that extra 3 to 4 feet, he's got something to work with, and that backhand combination, especially out to the forehand side, Ma's just trying to keep it on the table. He's not really doing anything with it. 7-5.
Oh! It's really not the kind of ball you would expect a player like Majin to get fooled by.
Well, he had a good kick-out snake on that one. But again, the confidence, the fight, he knows if he can get this second game after winning the first, great point.
6.
Kaku's doing everything he can do to stay in it. He's got to be thinking, what do I do to score a point against this?
Eight.
Oh, great read. That ball barely trailed off the table, and Kazaku able to spin it up and keep it low at the same time. Sometimes it's tough to judge the amount of spin on those returns. They're more lifts than drives. Kazaku with a 2-point lead and the serve.
Again, Kazaku is the one that's taking the initiative to play power first.
This is a little similar,
Emily Tan's looking pretty stoked.
Matt, that when we saw David Macbeth against Ma. Just kept getting that first offensive shot in. And Ma was so surprised. And look at that. What a combination there to guarantee the 2 points and some frustration on Ma with tossing the paddle onto the table. Perfect setup. See the underspin on the ball, and then Kazaku just jumping in, finding the open court.
Very active Chicago wind bench today. They had a brilliant start to the weekend, sitting in 8th position. I think there has been an underdog mentality in this competition. You know, the Portland Paddlers early on, the Major Ponghead blog was, you know, saying they were going to come last. They came out strong. Last 2 weeks ago, it was the Seattle Spinners. They were like, oh, people are saying that we're you know, that we're going to lose. They won all 3. And right now it kind of feels like this is Chicago's moment. I mean, if it's not now, when is it going to be, right? This has to be it for them.
It just seems that if you stay with it long enough, things will work towards you. And we saw it with Texas also.
Yes.
They were looking at the end of their rope, and they came out and won 2 really big matches. So right now, this is a little bit like Mr. Pinto against Koyo, where they thought they could lose 3-0 and then flipped it around and went 3 in the other direction. It's not an easy shot for Kaku off the table to rip the backhand from 8 feet back, but at least he's in an offensive-minded position to keep looping and not be blocking or pushing a topspin serve. Oh, what hands on that last one. Once again,
Kaku just fools him again with the. Just doesn't know which way to go. This time Jim Bao back from the table. Tries to come back in.
And again, Kaku watching, seeing the opponent, taking his time, almost a fake drop shot, and then just zipping it right into the body. Kaku is doing everything he can.
We don't really, I feel like we don't see enough of Jim Bao, like changing gears. Everything is kind of steady and stable, but there's no switch up.
And a number of misses as well. I mean, balls on his paddle, that as he's spinning it, whether it's off of a Adam Bobrow snake move from under the table where he's unsure of himself.
Kaku just running away with game 3, and this is a big start for the Chicago Wind. Second singles match between Pinto and Sonura Silva. It's going to be up right after this. Players have switched ends, but Kazuku's determined march continues.
Oh, look at that bullet. Kaku just stepping around the ball, just delivering a bomb. Nice drop shot. And you can hear the frustration. Kaku wanted that point.
I mean, that's kind of the difference between them. I mean, I feel like we haven't seen enough like anguish or frustration from Jim Bao when he misses. Kaku just finds a way to get back in every time. There is not enough pressure coming from Jim Bao's side of the table.
Now he's just keeping it on the table, extending the rally, but not putting that penetrating pressure that Kaku is doing every time he gets a loose ball. Look at that backhand. And this is exactly what Chicago wanted.
And Kaku, a number of game points here to potentially start off the Chicago Wind 3-0 in this match.
What a
and
look
he
at
does
that.
Just an absolute wash. Very similar to the last match we had here between Gorak and Nikhil in the opener. Kazaku wins 3-0.
Wow, what an upset. No, Majin Bao might be the better player, but Kazaku played better and got the W, got the job done, and now sends Daniela Pinto out for a great match with Sonora Silva, who's really become a fan favorite
Head down and
for the Bay Area Blasters.
have a little chat with Alex Kazaku first. Alex, what a brilliant match, and to come out in the first match and to win so convincingly. How did you feel about the style matchup? I mean, Majin Bao was a little bit soft, and you got in there and just, you really ran the field.
Yes, normally I was thinking to receive good, because if I receive half long or long, he has first attack, and then it was very difficult for me. He put me in defense, and I tried to play short. Also in my service to get the first attack, and after first set I won, I start to feel also a little better in my game, and I think he started to feel the pressure.
It also seemed,
sure he did.
it seemed like when you were a little bit out of position, your ability to bring the ball up really confused him, almost froze him, like he didn't have an answer.
The snakes.
Yeah, the snakes, I mean, they worked. They were slithering, and I mean, it was just amazing. But wow,
Yeah.
what a performance. I mean, you're bringing it from the offensive side with your power, but also from the defensive front, from beneath the table.
Yeah, it was a good match. I felt good, and I'm happy to get 3 points for the team. Very important points.
And you guys had a really great start this morning in your first match. Does this kind of feel like the road to redemption for the Chicago Wind has begun this weekend?
It's a long way until there, but we take it match by match.
Well, you certainly put on a great display and a good start for your team. Congratulations,
Thank
Alex.
you very much.
What an amazing display. I think that style matchup just played into Kazaku's hands perfectly. And this style matchup is certainly going to be a very interesting one. Daniele Pinto, left-hander from Italy. He plays a lot of long, fast serves and a lot of forehand coverage. Playing off against Sri Lanka's Sonora Silva, student at Texas Wesleyan. Sonora is a player that matches up attack and defense really well. Pinto 12-6 in singles. Hasn't played doubles, 18-22 in the Golden game. Sonora Silva currently 6th, number 6 on the standings, 12-6 in singles, 24-14 in the Golden game.
I mean, just amazing.
Sonora Silva is such a great problem solver when it comes to style matchups, so this is certainly going to be an interesting matchup. One of the things with Pinto is playing that game of find the backhand. He's usually a player that stays on his forehand a lot.
And when Silva played for the Princeton Revolution in the first match, he did not play Pinto, nor in the Combine. So this is the first matchup of these two players, and they both play so well back off the table in the counter-attacking, counter-looping rallies. Pinto he's going to rely on his forehand a lot more, where Silva's got a little bit more of a two-winged attack game. And that's a great combination there by Silva.
I mean, Silva's going to make Pinto work for
Every point. Yeah, there's not going to be a free point. And I think, Matt, the backhand by Silva out to the forehand is where he's going to kind of get the biggest dividends there, because it just knocks Pinto out of that backhand comfort zone. Yeah. There it is again, and then staying over.
And I think also Silva already has handled the long serves really well. I've just been surprised throughout this Major League Table Tennis season, the number of players who've responded in such a soft manner to Daniele's long, fast serves. And I think Sonura is actively trying to get pressure on from the start. Silva just holding his ground.
So smart, using his backhand to move the ball around, forcing Pinto to play all forehands all over the table. So difficult to keep up that pressure when you're only using one side of your racket. Silva very comfortable playing that first ball out to the forehand side.
I think tactically he's looking pretty good. I mean, he's attacking the serve. He's really trying to put pressure on the first forehand from Pinto. So he's looking for forehand counters early in the bounce, trying to add pressure and roll with the backhand.
And that was a beautiful edge ball that Pinto gets back. Pinto set that point up perfectly. Somehow Silva had the upper hand with the back edge.
So Pinto closes to within 1-6-7. And he draws it up at 7 each.
Pinto doing a much better job of moving his loops around. Getting Silva to have to reach for the ball.
Silva again backed off the table. Not a place, neither of these players want to be too far back.
Well, that was a good fight by Silva, able to jump on that ball that came off the end of the table. Couldn't take a full stroke. At least got the offense going.
Pinto sets up game points. He's just showing what he always shows out here. Forehand aggression. Gets it done, 11-7. The first game, Daniele Pinto taking the Chicago wind even further ahead at the start of this match. He just has an incredible ability to sustain a very high level of aggression. And, you know, even with Sonura handling the serve receive better and moving the placement around, he's still able to find his forehand. And he still has great quality. You don't see many low quality forehands from Daniele Pinto.
And I'm just wondering with Pinto, if a lot of it has to do with the confidence of how well he's been playing. I mean, it just seems like every match he's getting the job done, he's moving well, he's not panicking when he goes down a couple points, he's just staying with his game, keeping the loops going, and he's moving the ball around so well, really forcing Silva to play that wide ball to the backhand or wide out to the forehand. And if you're not counterattacking, if you're just blocking, it's not an easy ball to track down.
He's really going from strength to strength, not just in the league. I mean, we talked about in Chicago, right before the Chicago East Division match, he'd beaten Sun Wen in the WTT event, which was amazing. And you're like, this is a career high for him. And then like another week and a half ago, he's up 2-0 and narrowly loses out to Jang Shun, another Chinese national team player. So, I mean, he's performing at a really high level right now.
Just game is so locked in, so tight, just not missing any easy balls, making wise decisions.
1-1.
As I was saying, not missing any easy balls.
Wow. And Sonura gets it out wide to the forehand. That's the key against the left-handed player. Get it out wide to the forehand.
I mean, even on the defense, he still has a chance to counterattack.
So just a little bit far away from that contact.
Look at that hooking return. Pinto is just playing great from the backcourt.
It's Coach Eric Owens alongside two-time U.S. Olympian Timothy Wong.
And many-time U.S. singles champion, I want to say. Three.
3-4.
I mean, that's just amazing. It looked like Pinto moved before Silva hit 2 of the balls in order to get his forehand into play. Just moving so quickly, keeping the offense on his racket even when he's moving back.
And Silva making a few more kind of uncharacteristic errors. He's usually a really consistent player. It's going to be a timeout now from the Bay Area Blasters.
Silva just needs to clear his mind. He's just looked like he's in a fog out there wondering what does he have to do against this guy who just keeps the pressure on. Every forehand loop is followed by another rundown, whether it's a forehand on the backhand side or a wide forehand.
Coach Maggie Tian there on the left. Tao Wenzhang also in a kind of leadership role in the team. Silva definitely has the skill set to be in a better position than he's currently in.
Right,
in this
tactically, it doesn't seem like he's doing anything that Pinto can't handle.
match. Right.
Where at the very beginning of the match, it looked like he had that option with the strong play out to the wide forehand.
Yeah, and I think, you know, the serve receive out to the forehand and then getting the ball back across to the backhand court. These are very textbook strategies that have worked when he's used them, but
5-5.
right now he's just been struggling a little bit. Would certainly help him a lot if he could take the second game. He has been struggling with the forehand counter.
Oh, nice deep serve.
5-7.
Noticed that Silva was beginning to drift over to the forehand side to possibly use a backhand, and then just took it down the line. Just great fight and hustle by Danielle Pinto. And just moving all over the court. And when he is in position, great. And there's a loop off the end. He reminds himself to loop forward, don't spin it up.
8 points to 6. With Pinto with the serve.
9.
Pinto 3 points in the lead now.
I don't think we've had any team match where 2 sweeps occurred back-to-back for one team. But Pinto is putting himself in a very attractive position to get that done.
Silva really is strike now or don't strike at all for the second game.
Wow. Went for the deep serve and then the backhand block off the bounce combo. Pinto didn't even make a swing on it. what a point.
9-10.
Pinto should have gotten frequent flyer miles on that last one. He was covering the entire court, only again with his forehand running early. Silva.
It was a little bit risky of him to try and control with the backhand against that topspin lob, but he controlled it so well. And Silva
Dodges a bullet. What a play. I mean, both these players have stepped it up a notch with 3 to 4 great attacks.
really all starts with the serve return for Silva and what he does with the next ball. Both of them have an exceptional ability to move around the court. They both have amazing footwork. Silva he just wasn't connecting with the forehand counters, and I guess during most of the second game, even though he pulled through at the end, he tended to be playing quite reactively. So Pinto was making all of the moves. Silva was just trying to do his best to get, to stay in the point. That's a big deal for him, clutching up the second game. The backhand played in for him. I mean, using his backhand to control the placement. When you play against a player who's playing full table forehand, control and placement are your biggest friends.
Game 3.
You can stay up at the table, stay in control. I mean, we saw what happened when Jeremy Hazen played against Daniele Pinto. He had him running around the court like crazy, and Pinto was exhausted at the end of the match. I mean, he still won. But of course, everything for the Major League Table Tennis can be found at mltt.com. The standings, video links, stats.
Most importantly, just sign up for the email reminders for tickets and any deals.
3-1.
And there are awards in the Fantasizer.
Not for us.
No,
But
but
not that we're
bragging
winning
rights
anyway.
to just let
4-1.
Evan know that he's playing amongst the pros.
I didn't see how his start was for this weekend.
He's got one of the players coming up in the third singles match.
Pinto, 5-1 in the lead. He has a message to send. Oh. That point was played to perfection by Sonura Silva.
Yeah, it's like two hands are better than one. Eventually, the forehand can only cover so much. Silva playing his backhand to the perfectly open court. And now he's taking advantage like he did at the beginning of the first game to start out on the forehand just to keep Pinto in one spot, then taking it to the other corner.
You
Again,
just cannot afford to play soft serve receives against Pinto. He takes 2 from his serve.
just playing really tight and effective. Every ball well placed, every opening loop away from a counterattack.
Oh boy, what a rally from both players.
Looked like they were doing a counter looping drill. Pinto always living on the forehand, whereas Silva mixing it both forehand and backhand. If they ever institute a 2-point rule, that point would definitely be worth both.
This time Sonura staying up at the table, taking the ball earlier.
Forcing his forehand.
It's all about pressure. Just got to maintain that pressure. If he finds Daniele Pinto's backhand, he has to just push more pressure into it.
Oh, and the quick off the bounce backhand by Pinto.
Pinto with an 8-5 lead here. And Silva just has had issues with that forehand counter. Trying to take it early in the bounce. Just hasn't been able to lock it down.
Again, so easy for Pinto to make that first loop on the table, but to move it around so that Silva really doesn't have a good counterattack. Match point.
Sonura putting everything on the line, but Daniele Pinto, 2 points, or 2 games to 1 rather. A big display of forehand mastery. I mean, just the number of shots that he can chase down with his forehand across the table is
especially when
amazing.
they get into a counter looping rally and he's got to move early, knowing that if that ball goes into his backhand corner, he's got to get his body weight moving forward to make contact.
Just a really outstanding performance. Daniele, fantastic match again. I mean, we've seen you play so many amazing singles matches here in Major League Table Tennis, and I think the common theme of all of them is just the amount of court coverage that you get with your forehand. You play against someone like Sonura, who has quite good control and placement. What are some of the big factors for you to kind of get on your forehand and stay there for a point?
With good quality and forehand to the middle, because from backhand he was taking many balls, so I was trying to play middle forehand, and unfortunately the second set we played some good rallies and I couldn't win some of them, so yeah, I could not close the game 3-0, but okay, 2-1 is still good for me.
Still good enough?
Yeah.
You have to be extremely happy with how Chicago is doing today, right now with a 5-1 lead. What are your thoughts going into the Golden game? What are you going to really force for your game?
What I was trying to do in the last weeks was to focus on Golden game, because in Chicago we didn't play well. So I tried to practice the Golden game with my teammates in Italy to be ready to feel this kind of pressure. So I felt better this morning and hope to feel better in the afternoon. I mean, after these matches. So, yeah.
Wow, congratulations, Danielle. It looks like the doubles is starting now, so we'll get down to that and we'll see you in the Golden game.
Okay, thank you so much.
So a bit of a sibling showdown here in the doubles. Emily Tan out there for the Chicago Wind. Angie Tan for the Bay Area Blasters, paired with Damien Provost and Marjin Bao.
One, two.
Marjin Bao drifting pretty far back from the table there.
Yeah,
Really,
the Blasters need to stay up to the table if they're going to put any pressure.
especially
on
with
the
Damien,
wing.
he's always going to play wide angles.
Right.
The further back you go, the more it's going to hurt.
And I think
It's pretty pumped up for this one.
and Emily knows, obviously, what Angie wants to do. She's going to stay away from her backhand. If she's going to open up, it's going to be from the middle or her forehand side.
always great to see siblings playing. I feel like in the US, almost more than many other countries, we see a lot of junior players, siblings that pick up the sport. You have, you know, Emily and Anjali, Rachel and Joanna Sung, the Algetti brothers, Sid and Nandan Naresh. Just
built-in practice partners is always a benefit, and
I mean, but this goes back decades. You have the C Millers, the Bogans,
Butlers,
yeah,
the G sisters. Ouch.
That is the third time. We just had this discussion before in the last round because Emily was hit in the head then. This is the third time that Emily's been hit in the head or face in Major League Table Tennis, twice today.
Wow, what a backhand by Angie.
I think when Emily plays, especially when she gets on the attack, she ends up over the table so much.
Might want to start wearing protective headgear, goggles.
Third time, definitely not a charm in this case. And Emily Tan just decimates that ball. Emily Tan on the offensive, and we've seen her play doubles in a lot of different combinations, but honestly, she has been the aggressive player in a lot of these pairings.
Oh, that's a beautiful forehand smash by Angie. Great play by Damien Provost. Just a quality spin, again, nice and low. Ma Jianbao definitely floating back. A lot of his attacks have been from the backcourt versus over the table, or a little frustration there.
10-5 for the Chicago Wind. I mean, they're on a roll right now.
Almost as big of a roll as the Carolina Gold Rush, who are playing on table 2, who currently lead the Portland Paddlers 8-0 in points. Very high probability they'll go up 9-0 as they're in the mixed doubles phase, just like we are here on table 1.
The first game going to the Chicago Wind. They're just keeping on adding to that lead right now.
There was definitely a sense of urgency. Speaking with Coach Eric Owens coming into this,
here's another replay of, oh, that was actually quite close to her eye.
yeah, could actually eyebrow.
She hit some, I mean, she's just so assertive. And I think everything about her, on the table, off the table, on the bench, she has such a great energy that she brings to the table. She is a competitor through and through.
And the thing that, Matt, I've liked the most about watching her play is even in the tough losses or in the golden game, she's always smiling. She's always running over to the other side to congratulate the other team. She's never sulking. She's never hitting the ball out of the court. She's literally running over to shake hands.
Remember, she's just enjoying not being at school. Right,
Right, that's true. And not having to do her college applications.
Right.
But very aggressive. I think she's enjoying practicing with her teammates also, as each team has great warm-up sessions right before they go on the court. Oh, that's a beautiful backhand. That was set up by Emily's backhand over the table.
Just really seems that there's not enough bite from Bay Area Blasters right now. They had a really tough start in this competition. They did pretty well on home ground 2 weeks ago.
Again, Emily just throwing herself into that ball with a great forehand loop. And I really like this combination with Emily and Damien Provost.
Yeah, me too.
He's doing a lot more of the placement winners and letting her open up the point and giving her the green light if she does have an opportunity to finish the point, which is that's her game. She's not going to push and block anyone to death. She's going to take big shots, but look at there, 1-2 combo. Emily makes a strong shot. Damien Provost just finds that open court, threads the needle.
Yeah, they have very complementary playing styles. I think they work together so well.
A righty-lefty, and also Damien, he's changing the spin a lot, which is going to give her a couple more chances, especially when Damien plays to the female opponent. Not easy in mixed doubles to dominate both games. Order changing. And this time, Ma Jianbao.
Ma Jianbao really just hasn't delivered so far. The singles and now the doubles as well.
It doesn't appear, even though Angie is playing well, nice backhand loop there. Just they're not gelling well. They're not.
I think one of the tough things is that Ma Jianbao's not able to put enough pressure on. You know, whether he's attacking or whether he's receiving serve.
Much better on that time.
Yeah.
And I think it also translates a little bit into the golden game where he's not really sure of what he should be doing, whether he should be going all out, doing a Mr. Pinto where every ball's a fight to get the forehand in. That is similar to his style. He likes to do the reverse pendulum and then loop first. But often in doubles, he's just standing there. Credit Provost and younger Emily Tan. Oh, that was a nice deep push by Angie.
7-5.
Asserting her older sister.
Reminding who's the boss.
Yeah, well, I mean, so far, Emily's been running the show here. This is Angie's second time, I believe, playing as a free agent here for the Bay Area Blasters.
Wow.
Angie gets it finished.
7-6.
Of course, we should probably mention the fact that there are probably people wondering where Lily Jang and Amy Wong are. They're both competing at the ITTF Mixed Team World Cup in Chengdu, along with Nandan Naresh and Rachel Sung and Liang Jishan. So a little bit of unlucky timing for the cross division. 5 of the 6 players competing in that event are MLTT players.
And that's why all of these teams have a total of 8 players on their team. And when we go past that, then we pull in Tapa.
Yeah, Tapa Day. He's the man of the hour. So a timeout here from the Bay Area Blasters. Oh, from the Chicago Wind. Rather.
Yeah, I think this is one of those offensive timeouts where they know they can just hold the lead, go up 2-0 in the doubles. That would make it a 7-1 lead going into the final game.
Eric Owens, coach of the Chicago Wind. He's got a rich background of table tennis history in the US.
so nasty what Damien Provost is able to hook onto the table after a heavy, heavy topspin.
Just carried all of Ma Jinbao's spin back, and of course picked up that net ball as well.
Again,
some more pressure from him.
Angie having no difficulty delivering a backhand after a number of strong attacks. Again, just throwing a little bit of slime over there with that forehand side spin chop by Damien Provost. 9-7. And that's not a ball that Angie Tan wants to see happen off her backhand side. 3 game points, 4 game points.
So they will take the first 2 games now. Emily Tan and Damien Provost. I mean, they are just really developing well as a pair. I know in Chicago we saw Emily also play with Alex Kazaku as well, but I feel like this combination works really well for them. It's such a good style matchup. Provost plays great angles, stays in control. He's very calm and collected, kind of strategic. Emily Tan a bit more fiery. Of course, a great opportunity for us to talk about Fantasy League again, because we just can't say enough about it. It's been so much fun. Sean, I don't know if you'd ever done any sports Fantasy League before. This is the first time for me to do it.
Completely first time with me, and nothing's better than to be able to be fans of Major League Table Tennis. And with the dollar figure, you've got to really figure out.
Yes,
you can't just go the strong team because you'll run out of money.
Right. So Fantasizer.com. It's week by week as well as the season standing. So if you haven't joined it yet, join in for the next round in January. Each week you can win. I don't even know what the prizes are, but some of them look pretty impressive. I think there was a $250 Amazon voucher last time for the top spot. So yeah, there are some great prizes, but it's fun. It's something different. It's definitely the first table tennis fantasy league, and I've loved every second of it.
And again, the most important is that we get to trash talk Evan.
I don't know if I'm going to be trash talking that much, because things are not looking great for me so far this week.
Look at that backhand by Emily Tan. She's just staying right up at the table.
I mean, I've said this before. Her post-match interview where she said, you know, all the guys that she's playing doubles with keep saying, don't worry, don't feel the pressure, like we've got your back. And she just said to them, I don't need you to have my back. I have this handled. It's the perfect mantra for her, because she's handling it herself.
And look at that. Again, it's just a 1-2 combo platter. And Damien Provost moving the ball around perfectly. And then letting Emily crush the competition. Again, in the driver's seat. Damien doing a nice job of using his backhand to return the serve. Great ball movement by the wind.
Everybody out there right now who in their fantasy league picked Enzo as their top pick and then had to pick up balance, and they took players like Emily Tan, should be rejoicing right now, because both of them are delivering.
Enzo's middle name is Sweep, as he's just doing such a nice job in the doubles. This time, Ma Jinbao added a little extra topspin to the serve return.
Tan just a little bit of uncertainty about her shot selection there. Can't afford to hesitate in those situations.
And then Emily said, go to the other side of the table. What are you doing on my side? Younger sisters sometimes don't have the respect of their elders. That's just really well played by the Wind. Nice deep push, almost like they're playing singles over there, and then right off the bounce to the open court.
And you could see Provost was ready if that ball came back.
Damien knows he needs to be a little bit closer on that ball. And Emily takes it off the bounce. You don't want to give the opponent too much time to get back into position. And that was a great backhand loop by Emily. Majin Bao did everything he could to re-loop it. Just too much spin on the ball, and it just died as it went over the net. By far the best I've seen Emily Tan play so far in Major League Table Tennis. I think they found their mixed doubles pairing.
8 points to 5. 2 games in the bag already.
Chance to sweep.
The wind is picking up.
Oh. Angie Tan challenges her younger sister with a deep serve.
Emily's reaction to that. Like, how did I fall for that?
What was I doing?
Damien Provost starting to get a little vocal now as well. I mean, Emily's just, she's the captain of the ship right now.
Her backhand has been lethal. Damien's just keeping the ball in play for his partner to get a chance to do something with it.
And straight down the line, 3-0. Damien's thrilled with that. I'm sure very proud of his partner, Emily Tan. That was just a brilliant performance from both of them. And I think Majin Bao and Angie just struggled throughout. And we've seen this before when you have a pair that's playing together for the first time. We saw it also with Oreo Monzo playing with Tao Wenzhang, I think, last round on the West Division. Great players, but they hadn't played together before. So, Emily, that was a really outstanding match, and I've said this to you before in the post-match interview, but it's been really fun for us to kind of watch your progression, and you get better and better throughout these matches. But honestly, in that one, you were kind of in the driver's seat. How motivated are you when your sister's on the other end of the table to kind of make sure you pull out the win?
Really motivated because the last time I lost her in singles, and then she's been saying that like since nationals, so that's been like 4 or 5 months. I'm like, no, I need a redemption.
So you've just been biding your time until now.
Yeah, I'm like, nah, it's a 50-50. It's not you with a higher probability in winning. She's always like, oh, she's better because she beat me last time. I'm like,
So going back to the doubles match, how well does it feel playing with Damien? It just seems like your styles work so well together where you're actually doing more attacking and he's doing the placing of the ball.
It feels really nice because when I play doubles, it's really hard for me to place it when I'm not in my position. Instead, it's easier for me to attack because I'm more of an attacker than like a blocker or like a placementer. Usually I win from an underspin loop or from like rallying, but of course in doubles, rally is 2 people rallying, so it's really hard for me to like win by rallying. So I'm more confident in my first underspin loop, and that rather than placing other people, like giving them the backhand or forehand, like, oh, I can't do that. I can only make sure it goes on the table.
And Emily, one of the things, how is it that you're getting hit in the head so much? It's happened twice already today and once before. Are people just out to get you? What's going on?
The first one was hit by my own teammate.
I remember.
The second one's hit by an opponent. They're body attacking me. They can't win, they body attack me.
Well, you get a chance to get them back, Emily, in the golden game. Congratulations, a great result for you.
Thank you.
It's just a great performance by the Wind. Now we have 3-time U.S. men's singles champion and two-time Olympian Timothy Wong in his major league table tennis debut.
Playing off against Alexei Duan.
1-0.
I know Tim has really been waiting for this opportunity to get out here and prove himself. He played in the Chicago Edge Ball tournament, played in the team competition last week. So he's been getting some match reps in. Has a lot of experience, 2012 and 2016 US Olympian. His style is quite spin oriented. It's a little bit softer on the backhand side, but we have seen him attacking more on the backhand lately. He's definitely got something to prove out there. I mean, I'm sure he'll want to leave an impression that helps Eric Owens pick him in the lineup more often.
Exactly. Best way to get in the lineup is win your games.
Tim now works full-time for Deloitte, but still coaches on the side. Of course, there's plenty of opportunity to get some MLTT merch in the shop. There's team t-shirts, team shirts. I always love seeing people in the audience wearing the team t-shirts.
I think they should give the announcers a couple different ones. I'd love to wear the Paddlers or maybe the Wind.
You would definitely like the Paddlers. There's no bias there whatsoever. I'm quite a big fan of the blue ones with the MLTT logo on the front. Pretty closely contested match so far in game one. Right now, the Chicago Wind lead 8 points to 1.
You think that's a
This is dangerous. Well, yeah.
blowout?
And we've seen total domination from the East Coast throughout today's matches. They're already 4-0.
Great point by both players. Alexei a little more power on the forehand, but Timothy Wong getting his forehand into play.
And Tim just has such good control in his game. But he has to take the chances to play the counteroffensive, and it's tough. You know, he's a player that has trained in a lot of different countries, and he has a lot of international experience from before, like during his earlier playing days. So all of the shots are there. It's just a matter of getting in more match practice, and I think the first thing that kind of goes off is that you tend to play safe.
Yeah, especially if you're doing any coaching, because as a coach, your job is to keep the ball on the table for the student. So you're not used to finishing the point at every opportunity where you see a lot of these European-based players. Their first shot has so much power, and this is a good job by Timothy here. Got to be careful if you're going to go out to the forehand side in the counter looping rally. It's the one chance to counterattack.
course, we are running 2 tables of matches here at the Cross Division. One is actually on Adam Barbro's channel, the Adamcast, which I was commentating with him on this morning. They're over on table 2, which is currently 12-0.
This is the
in games to Carolina Gold Rush. So the East Coast just bought their best here. And Alexis Duan takes game 1, 11 points to 6. The Bay Area Blasters desperately need some points here, especially going into the 5th matchup, which is between Damien Provost and Tao Wenzhang. Anything could happen in that. It's a tricky matchup for both teams.
Yeah, I could see 2 1s on either side, or even possibly a 3-0 on either side. You just, with Tao Wenzhang, if he catches fire, while at the same time,
I mean, he's hurting right now.
yeah, no,
He really.
the timeouts almost look like he needs them just to take an extra breather.
Yeah, I
Whereas
mean,
with Damien, you just saw that in doubles what he just did. I mean, just
He's so
perfect
relaxed.
timing. Yeah, every ball is just so smooth.
yeah, I mean, Tao really had to lift his game in the last West Division match, and then he went straight into team competition for 3 days. He has put his body through a lot.
At the older age, that's not easy. He got a shorter haircut right after California.
I know all about shorter haircuts. Well, as we said, the 4th singles that comes up after this is between Damien Provost and Tao Wenzhang. It's going to be a great match. Right now, pressure's on both of these sides. I mean, pressure's on Timothy Wong in his debut, but it's on Alexis Duan to get some points on the board for the Bay Area Blasters.
It just seems like with Alexi, who we saw play recently in California, that his backhand attack is just a half a step more power than Timothy's. Timothy keeps it on the table, but it's not as penetrating, especially when Alexi plays it down the line. Timothy just has to move his feet a heck of a lot more to get the job done.
Yeah, I think one of the conversations that I had with Tim recently is he's using a tackier Chinese rubber on both sides. So he did comment on it had kind of slowed down his backhand a little bit.
It's nice to be able to load it up and put more spin on the opening on the backhand, but with these players with a faster combo, they're using the backhand to punch it. And then when you slow it down, that really doesn't help that much.
And Alex is just out there playing pretty stable. Stable at a kind of 15% buffer over Timothy.
Nice combination there by Timothy, mixing it up on the serve return. I think the big thing, Matt, when Timothy plays this forehand, as long as he's moving the ball around, he's not just looping to the opponent's paddle, he'll get to be able to continue the attack, but he has to be careful not to just play it cross-court right into the opponent. Beautiful step around by Timothy Wong.
There's the Chicago wind bench. Emily just
A lot
looked
of
up and
smiles.
saw herself on the screen while she was eating a snack. Heavy spin on the back.
Nothing like some string cheese for a winner.
Victory string cheese. So Tim Wong's really bounced back strong in this second game. Good take on a little bit more pressure.
Nice job on the backhand opening. As long as Timothy can either keep it low or deep, Lexi Duan isn't going to do too much with it other than just try to return it with a little bit of pace. Beautiful shot down the line by Timothy Wong.
I feel like Tim's almost kind of he's like, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to be treated like a circus act. It kind of seems like Alexi's slowed down a lot. I feel like Tim's brought him into his pace a lot more in the second game. What a point. Tim Wong gets it done. 11-3 in the second game.
Just really pulling out all the stops and just sticking it with the forehand, moving the ball around.
And he did such a good job dealing with those counter attacks. That backhand loop from Duan. Tim Wong got the ball down the line. Big celebration from Tim. Probably the biggest one we've seen from him in like the last 10 years.
Gotta feel good, but more importantly, it adds an extra point to the Chicago win, and now they're leading 8-2, leading up to the fourth singles match.
I mean, that was a big turnaround from the first game for Tim to come out here and win the second game at 11-3. I think a lot of tactical adjustments. He held the table really well this time. Stayed up close. Pressured Duan's attack a lot more. We saw less rhythm from Alexi out there.
There wasn't really one forehand that he overplayed. Everything was nice, under control, kept moving the ball around, took advantage of a number of openings on the backhand side off of serves that came off the end. Portland finally gets their first point on the table with Ji-Wei Shaw playing against Romain Lorenz. So now it's 12-1.
Tim Wong gets in the first point.
That's tricky. Tim decided to start on the backhand or with the backhand. Alexi said, yo, check out this backhand as he just drove this ball. Tim acknowledged the speed behind it.
This time Tim backed off the table.
Got some extra spin on his backhand.
Maybe that backhand rubber choice is actually paying off better than he thought.
Slowed it down and gave him something to put on the ball. These points right here, Matt, if Timothy can take these and just keep the pressure on. It's never easy when you're trailing in a team match, especially down 9-2.
he doesn't win this game, Chicago win a guaranteed 5-point head start in the Golden game. And then they have Tao and Jang following up behind. But if Damien Provost wins one game, then Bay Area are down and out for the win.
3-4.
Tim gets in with the first forehand. Alexi blocking that ball more towards the elbow on the second. Wasn't the fastest block, but good depth on the table.
Stayed behind it. Although it's a lot of work, Timothy Wong just has to get that first forehand in. There's a nice combination. Keeping it on the backhand side. Oh, lucky break there.
The net on the counter attack. Danan switches ends with a 1-point lead. It's going to be disappointing for Tim Wong after hitting 4 or 5 big forehands against those lobs.
4-5.
Big point on Tim's serve. Wants to even it up. He does not want to go down 6-4 with Alexi serving.
Big rally from both players. Danan coming out on top. I mean, Tim's really holding his own out there.
Oh, beautiful. Backhand flip there, little banana action. Put a lot of side spin on the ball. Changed the trajectory.
So a 2-point lead. Alexi Danan, the Frenchman, representing the Bay Area Blasters. Timothy Wong has so much to prove here in this match. First match here for the Chicago Wind on his debut.
Timothy with a very strong forehand. Off the table, it's still going over the ball. Putting a lot of pressure on Alexi.
And Tim goes for that counter drive with the forehand. Bold decision.
It's great when it lands. The problem is that there's not much margin of error. That one, big point for Timothy Wong. One more serve from Alexi.
Tim Wong levels it at 8 points each.
Oh, that serve just popped up an inch too high. Alexi Duan just jumped on top of it. Made Timothy Wong pay for that.
Taking the shot but missing the table. Certainly can't fault him for not taking his shots in this match.
Yeah, he's forced with such a strong serve return. He's got to turn, try to pivot, get his forehand in. Just be nicer if it was a lower, shorter serve where he's dealing with either a drop shot or maybe a deep push.
And Timothy Wong puts the ball off the side. Alexei Doan with the Bay Area Blasters gets 2 points out of their 3 total points. So he's really the only one who's held the team up here in this matchup. The Chicago Wind lead 9 points to 3.
And Tao Wenzhang is going to try against Damien Provost to sweep.
I mean, it's a lot of pressure on both of them, but I think Tao Wenzhang is the man for the occasion. If you're going to have anyone in that spot, it's probably him. We'll head down to Alexei. Now, Alexei, congratulations. A great match from you. It was incredibly close, and there were some pretty tense moments out there. How did you feel going out there knowing that the Bay Area Blasters were down 9-1? Did you feel a lot of pressure on your match to try and deliver some points for the team?
Of course, it's every match is important. We try to take every point we can. It's not easy for all the team for the moment. We fight as possible for take the maximum point, and we will try to reverse the situation in the golden game. So yeah, it's not easy, but we have to fight until the end.
Well, good job. I thought you played extremely well, especially with your forehand. Will we see more of that in the golden game?
Of course, I will try to put some good forehand and some good backhand also.
Awesome.
And against a player like Tim, he has kind of tacky rubber on forehand and backhand, so he can generate a lot of spin. What was important for you trying to control his spin in that match?
Actually, Tim is a very well player in block and first spin, as you said. So the most important thing was to begin before him, so he can't use his quality of spin. And then after, it was a fight in the game because he's very good in the game to control. So it was not that easy.
Well, a great performance from you. Congratulations on taking that result, and we'll see you in the golden game very shortly.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great result there for the Bay Area Blasters. Alexei Doan clawing back 2 very, very needed points and really keeping the team alive, potentially with a chance at least to get into the golden game with the ability to turn things around here. Right now we have the big hitter Tao Wenzhang puts the blaster in Bay Area Blasters. Modern penhold style is aggressive on forehand and backhand. He's up against Damien Provost. Just a steady, stable, very tactical-minded player.
And if anything can kind of blast through Damien Provost, it's definitely Tao Wenzhang.
Right. I mean, if the Bay Area Blasters ever knew that they would be in this position going into the 5th match, this is their guy to keep them alive.
Really, it's Tao's ability to at least spin the first ball to a location that Damien can't redirect. So he's just putting his paddle on it a little bit in that last point. But when he gets anything weaker off the end of the table, to turn on it and go for the winner. Again, if you can win that first game and come out blazing.
Just ground and pound.
Yeah, games 2 and 3 aren't as difficult.
Just gets over there off the net. Tao Wenzhang taking everything he can get here. Nets, edges, forehand blasts, everything. It's all going to help the Bay Area Blasters stay alive. this match.
5.
Tao Wenzhang 14 and 13 in singles.
That's just
Dropped quite a bit in the MLTT power standings. He's at 29th currently. 33 and 36 in the golden game.
that's just a real big surprise.
I think though among the players of Chinese background, of which there are more on the West Coast, I think Tao is probably the best equipped to handle European players. I mean, we saw, you know, a player like Ma Jinbao struggles a lot more with that kind of high rotation, high arcing topspin ball played at mid distance. I think Tao is able to time it a lot better.
And again, his short game is very strong, which gives him a chance to, on any slightly weak ball, just power through it. And I mean, this first game, 11-3, and that's a blowout.
I mean, he has a chance here if he can win this 3-0 to bring the team back to 9-6, considering how things have gone so far in the beginning.
And then if I'm Coach Eric Owens, I'm trying to create that lineup where he plays Damien again, possibly a sweep to just nullify that huge head start that the Chicago Wind came out of the blocks with. This match is far from over.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this style matchup for Provost is tough. Just for you viewers at home, as Sean said, this match was far from over. He just pointed over to table 2 where it's 13-1 for the Carolina Gold Rush.
I mean,
there's no comeback from that.
There's nuggets all over the place for the Gold Rush. Just
could actually be the biggest, potentially the biggest scoreline difference in a Major League table tennis.
Could be 20-1.
Could be. And he's not talking about the time either. He's talking about the score.
Right, I mean, it was 12-0.
Yeah.
And Ji-Wei Sha got the first point on the board for Portland.
He's been good at that. He's always able to clutch one game. There's Nikhil Kumar and Greg from Maryland. Flown all the way in here for this cross division match.
Nikhil is still on West Coast time.
Damien wanting to get off to a good start here. Even with one game win for Provost, he can make sure they start with a 5-point advantage. But Tao Wenzhang is just such an explosive player.
Just when you thought you stayed away from his forehand, he pulls this backhand out. And what power and finesse, just ripping through the ball. Damien with such nice hands to keep the ball in front of him, but finally.
The quality on his backhand counter loop from far back from the table for a reverse pen hold is so good.
No, it's Wong Howish.
Yeah.
Just so solid.
One other thing to remember here as well, the Chicago Wind have historically not been strong in the Golden Game. So if they can avoid the possibility of it having that much impact, it would certainly help them a lot. I believe coming into this weekend, they were 2-7 Golden Game. Had a good win this morning, so they're looking to kind of hit the reset button and foot forward.
And it's just a little bit more spin on every one of his balls, and when they're both stepping back, his backhand adds power and spin to the ball. Damien tends to play with a lot more placement and kind of hooking, moving the ball around.
3-5.
Provost with a series of nice reloops over the table. Brings it within one, trailing now only 5-4 in game 2.
Oh, gets it down the line, and Tao takes a bit of a
5-5.
tumble on his hands and one knee. Great anticipation from Provost.
Wow, inside out forehand. Even Damien Provost gave him a look like, how did you do that one?
I mean, that's tough to do, handhold, to get that inside out angle. You, yeah, you basically breaking your wrist.
And then the deep serve.
5-7.
I think Provost is beginning to feel that big lead subsiding for the wind. Nice backhand by Provost.
7-7.
He's got to get the attacks going, especially out to Tao's forehand. Playing him in the backhand corner, he's only going to see weapons coming at him, either backhand or forehands. There, it's just too solid.
Goes for broke on that backhand.
How
Look,
he gets his wrist to bend in that direction so that his whole body can spin through the ball is beyond me.
Okay, we've got Carolina leading 14-1.
And great location again, just right into the body. Damien talking to himself.
Jonathan McDonald is first. Coach? Jeremy Hazine is your first. Who's your second? Enzo is your
Provost
number
looks
2.
a little bit
Coach?
bothered by the Golden Game selection of the table. Tao Wenzhang 10-7.
And just continuing to roll.
G-Way is your 3.
And wow. Takes both first and second
Romaine is your 3. Who's your 4, Coach?
in strong form.
So Tao Wenzhang has now guaranteed the Bay Area Blasters that they will have a chance to still get the majority points here if they come through and win the Golden Game.
And considering, well, every point matters. If you look at the table across, they're starting at 14-1, which, as you said, that would be the biggest lopsided.
And Joanna is your 5.
That would be insane. If
A 20-1 point differential, or
you get a
14-7.
nice close-up of it there. 14-1. I mean, the Carolina Gold Rush have just grown into the most dominant team. Have Enzo at the top of the table in individual results. I think, honestly, Hong Lin has been a huge factor for them as well. Having Enzo and having Hong, I mean, apart from the fact that she is in North Carolina coaching and has no international obligations, so she's always
there
for the matches.
So dependable.
Tao Wenzhang will be looking to close this match out 3-0, and if he can, And if he can make it 9-6, Chicago Wind will go into the Golden Game with a 3-point lead. Damien wins this.
And Damien likes to counterattack, so the problem is when Tao opens up, when he finds a good location,
really
there's
hard
nothing to counterattack against. Oh, and then the net.
Rebels over.
2-2.
And Portland on table 2, trying to pull that double when they came back from 0-5. They're back in this Golden Game at 3 serving 5. And Tao Wenzhang continues just to unleash that forehand and backhand combo. Every opportunity to launch.
I mean, the big difference is Provost has handled the European players on the East Division, on the East Coast, because they tend to loop the first ball steady and then compound off it. Tao Wenzhang doesn't loop the first ball steady. He's 100% in. Third ball attack against backspin.
And then the ball is so flat as well, so there's nothing to loop against. It's
pure
just
direct power.
Yeah, it's just piercing. Almost lined it up. But that's what Provost has to do. He has to get some attacks going, and the deeper the better, so that ball doesn't land.
He gets a couple of points in a row here. This game right now is everything to both teams. The timeout. No timeout. Players are just switching ends. They do both have one timeout remaining, though, that they can use here in this match. They'll have another one per team for the Golden Game.
That's a problem. You can't just put that ball over the net, especially if it's going to pop up.
It was a smart decision from Tao about where he hit the ball as well.
And
Looked at how he wound it up. It looked for sure like he was going to hit down the line.
Again, gave himself a lot of space.
And speaking of timeouts, going to have one now. Fairly sure the timeout was called by the Chicago Wind. It didn't look too sure down there. Eric Owens giving some advice here and some reassurance to this player. I mean, they know how big a deal it would be for them to have a 5-point lead going into the Golden Game. Of Florida Crocs and Seattle Spinners. Watching how the other teams perform here. Scoping out the competition for the weekend.
Wow, Provost got by a couple of blocks. Tao Wenzhang just has to do so much work to keep that forehand going.
Provost keeping close to the table.
Taking it off the bounce, adding a little bit of spinning now. The Blasters with the timeout.
That clears up the earlier confusion about whose timeout was used when. I think for Damien, it's about blocking the first attacking ball well, and as the rally goes on, Tao tends to slow down in the beginning. I mean, his first ball has so much power, but
If you can get by that first ball.
Right, once you get into a rally with him, it's much harder. Provost, just steady as ever, making small adjustments, staying up closer, getting that first looping ball in. Tao's had much more trouble counter-attacking against Provost's first opening than he has attacking against backspin.
Very smart play by Damien Provost. Able to block 2 balls before getting his forehand in and playing wide to the backhand.
Just great angle play from Damien. Tao Wenzhang not done with business yet. Trails by 3 points.
And there's the power of Tao Wenzhang.
Provost has done a good job of trying to keep the ball down the line on the backhand side. It means if Tao wants to play a bigger shot, he has to step around.
Oh, again, great power.
7.
Textbook stuff from Tao. He stepped around, realized that the ball was a little bit out of his range, played a softer, spinny opening, and then recalculated things.
Oh.
7, 9.
Now going for the reverse pendulum.
And it
Really
works.
You don't see that serve very often from handhold players.
Again.
9, 9.
While the tension is building here on table 1, on table 2, the Carolina Gold Rush have just recorded the biggest winning margin in Major League Table Tennis, 20 points to 1. I can tell you right now that's going to be really hard to top.
That 1 point for Portland came from Jiwa Shah. Against Ramon.
Not their #1 hometown draft pick for nothing, right? Provost.
When push comes to shove, Jiwa Shah gets 1 point, but right now, Damien Provost trying to extend Chicago's lead over the Blasters.
It almost got there. There was a look of panic almost on Tao's face as he rushed to where that ball could land. We haven't had many of these
No,
at
I think
all
it's only
today.
maybe the second one,
Golden
possibly.
point. Tao with the serve. It's going to be interesting to see if he goes for that handhold reverse again.
What a fight by Tao Wenzhang. Just all the energy.
That was a huge performance and has doubled the Bay Area Blasters score. I mean, they were so down and out throughout this team match. Throughout the first 3 matches, I mean, Alexei Duan kind of gave them a glimmer of hope.
And you can just
Look
see
at the relief.
he's barely able to stand up straight after delivering those big forehand attacks to win.
Well, the job's not done. He's going to have some energy in reserve for the Golden Game. So right now, looking back at the matches that have happened so far, Alex Kazaku powered his way through Majin Bao. Pinto followed up with some outstanding forehand games to win 2-1. Take the Chicago Wind out to a pretty early lead. The doubles was exceptional. Emily Tan was in the captain's seat, 3-0. Chicago Wind were leading 8-1. Almost looked down and out, but as I said, they would come back in the second half. Alexei Duan keeping that glimmer of hope alive for the Bay Area Blasters, leading into that all-important fifth match, the fourth singles. Tao Wenzhang winning 3-0, bringing the Bay Area Blasters down to trail by just 3 points. So going into the golden game,
Okay, we've got
it'll only be a 3-point
Chicago
lead.
Wind is leading 9-6. You'll be starting with a 3-point lead. Coach, you picked first for 1 point. Angie, your number 1.
Starting with Angie.
Coach? Emily Tan, a sister battle. Your number 2. Damien is your 2. Coach? Wenzhang Tao is your 2. Who's your 3? Lexi is your 3. Tim Wong is your 3. And your 4? Alex Kazaku, who's your 4? Jin Bao is your 4. Making Sonora your 5. Making Daniele Pinto your 5. Good luck, coaches.
So the order stays the same. Again, we've seen a lot of this.
Yep.
It's exactly the same. We saw it in the Crocs against the Seattle Spinners. Again, maybe some changes.
Some
could have been
singles
made.
revenge is on the line right here with
Oh.
the sisters,
Big time.
who will have bragging rights for the next month or two.
There's a smile on the face of Angie Tan there.
And all it took was one serve.
So the matchup here continues between
One would
Damien
think that
Provost.
the Blasters would have the slight edge right here.
Maybe, but I mean, Tao Wenzhang is so
4-1.
Tired.
Yeah. I feel like the sensible thing for them to do would be to put Majin Bao against Damien, because they have a similar tempo. And then put Sonora against Tim. And then maybe Duan against Kazaku or Daniele Pinto.
And you can just see Provost having a little bit more left in the tank. Tao Wenzhang doing everything he's been doing in the last match, which is fighting for the forehand. But it's just getting slightly weaker every time it comes back. Damien Provost would
Next
love
player,
to have that one
5-3.
back as Alexei one comes in to play against Timothy Wong. And can Timothy Wong get his forehand in and stay out of a backhand-to-backhand exchange?
And Alexei Duan with a great point here to start off his Golden Game campaign.
So patient from the back court.
Take a second, and things are leveled up here now.
There goes that huge lead that we saw early on after the doubles.
The Blasters just melting away. I mean, we went from a potentially unassailable lead to maximum 5-point potential.
To now
down
losing
to
by 3.
Down to, down to being down. And Danan goes for the counter, a little bit risky. 6 points each. Now, anybody's
I think we're due for a
match.
golden point.
I mean, only one of the team matches has been relatively close so far between Princeton Revolution and Texas Smash went down to the golden point. Margin Bao just kind of hooked that ball out to the corner.
And you saw Kazaku running around trying to get one more forehand to land.
If ever there was a time for Margin Bao to redeem himself, now is definitely it. And he looks like he's pretty determined to do that. Serve and follow up. Margin Bao just,
I mean,
just a totally different player out
You
here.
could hear the crack on that flip kill.
Timeout.
And now,
Here comes the first of the team's timeouts here in the golden game. Chicago Wind bringing Alex Kazaku back over to the bench. It's a quick timeout from the Chicago Wind.
9-6.
Only one timeout remains now. It's for the Bay Area Blasters. Margin Bao with the serve. And he takes all 4. That's huge.
such a big sweep.
I mean, in the West Division, losing out the golden game point to Amy Wong was probably a big deal for him as well.
And Pinto continues
7-10.
to live on his forehand. Oh, that was clean. How crisp was that forehand?
10-8.
Sonata's serve receive a little bit, just too much down that middle third of the table. It's easy forehand pluckings for Pinto, this time getting it a bit wider.
8.
Silva increases the lead,
12.
4 points up. Chicago Wind.
And now the ladies come back.
I mean, Chicago have got to be having a little bit of trauma here from past golden games. And Tan takes the first. Despite the doubles, if Angie can win more points here, she'll certainly have the last laugh. Big show there from Emily Tan.
Wow. Angie, nice combination. Once again,
She just
second time we've seen her today,
decimates that ball.
just blast a ball. She did it in the golden game.
Just chucks her head back there on the way back to the bench.
She did the same thing against Hong Lin.
And Tao didn't even blink
15.
in the direction of that ball.
15-11.
Provost still with a chance here to bring the Chicago Wind back. Hard to believe we're having this conversation now with the Chicago Wind behind.
16-11.
Provost
16.
brings back some ground for the Chicago Wind. They've been in the lead for the majority of this team tie, but right now they are behind in this golden game.
And Timothy Wong potentially sweep or at least reduce the difference between the two teams. That was a great fight by Timothy. A little mistiming. It looked like he stepped in a little closer than he expected, but he kept the topspin on the ball, turned it over, and just kept the pressure going. 3-point differential. Oh, lucky net ball.
The net.
17-13.
Right now, this
Back to 4.
lead shrinking again.
There's that strong
18,
backhand.
13.
Just having those two weapons.
And gets him with the forehand. That is
13,
really
19.
decisive from Alexei Duan, and Margin Bao is going to come back out here. It's going to be interesting to see
If they
which
split,
Margin Bao,
yeah.
Margin Bao we have here.
Kaku has to win 3. He's got one of them.
14,
Margin
19.
Bao just reverting to that soft, passive play. Didn't do him any favors in the singles. And he takes one.
Just too
20,
tough to step
14.
around that ball. Right idea, but needed to be a half a step faster.
Golden game match point here for Bay Area Blasters. Can Margin Bao get some redemption? Not on the first point. The service
Kaku
was
going for
great.
the backhand step around. What an aggressive deep
16,
push by
20.
Kaku. So now Pinto and Sonora Silva will go to center stage with Pinto serving.
And Sonora Silva is the
Golden
recipient
game to
of
Blasters, 21.
unforced forehand error there from Daniele Pinto, and the Chicago Wind have lost their opportunity. It's the Bay Area Blasters that win this team match. They have to be so relieved. They're kind of
They're so
there's no
tired.
energy left.
Everyone is just completely spent.
And Emily Tan's still there smiling on the bench. The rest of the Chicago Wind team will, I mean, if we look at the standings, and we've talked about this so many times, the Chicago Wind in singles in particular have such a good record compared to the other teams. But they've just been let down in the golden game. And to have that chance within your grasp where one game would have made you an unassailable target, a really amazing fight back from the Bay Area Blasters. We're going to go down and talk to Coach Maggie Tan. She has got to be pretty stoked with herself. Maggie, there were moments during that team match where you probably would not have imagined yourself doing this interview right now. How were you feeling halfway through this match when the Chicago wind was so far ahead?
I know, but I still have confidence, even the beginning. So I think we have more advantage, even like we down many games. But I still tell my team, each player, well, we're just trying to fight as many games, as many points as we can.
So how big was Tao Wenzhang taking 3 points at the end? Was he the MVP for your team in this match?
I know. So I very appreciate the Tao today, the performance, even this morning. So we didn't respect is like he played with Enzo the morning match, and now he against all the like good players. But before he started, he told me, say, hey, Maggie, I will try my best to get in many games as I can. And he gave me more motivation and confidence. Also, I told my team, hey, let's go. So we're cheering for Tao, and let's see as many games we come back and see what's going on in the Golden Game.
And speaking of the Golden Game, I mean, obviously, you were still a little bit behind going into the Golden Game. How did you feel about the decision to have basically the same lineups that you'd had in the individual matches in the Golden Game? What was the thought process behind that strategy?
Well, yeah, even I think even we lost the beginning of a couple matches, but each game, the score is closed. Like first match, Jinbao is each game was 11-9.
Right.
So I mean, for me, it's not like very far from their team. I think because it was a couple points or strategy, even Sanura didn't play bad. Even he lost 1-2. But I think it's because of the strategy or some of like luck. So, but yeah, so I mean, for me, we're not like below their level. So right. I just try each player and team, we just trying to work hard as we can and then get back.
Well, your team looks pretty happy right now, so I'll let you go and join them and celebrate. Congratulations on an amazing comeback there.
Thank you so much.
And looks like we'll have a chance to talk to Sonora. Sonora, well done. You must have felt during that team match some very nervous moments.
Yes.
How did you feel about your individual performance, not just in your singles, but also in the Golden Game as well for this match?
Yeah, I feel like in my singles game, I played really well. I mean, of course, Daniel Pinto is good, I know. I mean, that was like really good points. I'm really satisfied with playing him. And yeah, I'm happy. And I mean, imagine if we down 9-1 and, you know, and we started 9-6 and it was fantastic.
Well, I mean, if it hadn't been for your one game, you could have been down 9-0 instead.
Definitely.
So there's always that.
Yeah, but we played well, yeah.
And then in the Golden Game, the big points, especially the end, at any point did you feel like, hey, we might have this, or was it uncertainty as they were trying to mount a comeback towards the end?
No, we had a hope. We had a hope that we can win this. And I mean, Angie actually changed the game. Yeah, credit goes to her. Yeah.
And you played Daniele again in the Golden Game. Did you approach that differently going into the Golden Game than you did in the singles? Or
Yes, I did. I did differently because he always tried to serve my forehand, and when I flipped to his backhand and he stepped around and played down the line. So I just prepared to that. So yeah, it went well.
Step ahead of the game this time. Sonora, congratulations to you and the team. Great comeback and a big win for the Bay Area Blasters.
Thank you so much.
Actually, today, the only West Coast team to win a team match.
Yes.
So well done.
Thank you for mentioning that. Yes.
I've mentioned a lot of things today, Sonora. I had to balance it out from my earlier mention about Igor.
No. That's not correct.
All right. Well, congratulations, and we'll see you guys out here again tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
What a turnaround. I mean, the Bay Area Blasters coming back onto the top of the table, overtaking the Seattle Spinners. They were the only West Coast team to win today out of the 6 matches that we had between East and West. The Carolina Gold Rush have an enormous lead after that blowout 20-1 victory over the Portland Paddlers. And if you look at the Golden Game win-loss, the Portland Paddlers have actually moved considerably down, not just after last week in the West Division, but now again today, where they've lost 2 Golden Games.
And that 20-1 is not going to help going into the playoffs, trying to be one of the top 2 teams of the conference.
Right. I mean, the good thing for the Chicago Wind, at least, is that they positioned themselves well early, so they did take away 9 points out of this match, which is a good result for them in the end when it comes to the actual table. There's still a lot of fight left here. The West Coast teams have a lot to prove going into the rest of this weekend. The Bay Area Blasters, outstanding stuff. A brilliant comeback, Sean. I mean, at some points during it, we didn't think it was going to be possible at all.
You know, it looked like Chicago was completely on a run, and got to credit Tao Wenzhang, their fearless leader, for just getting the job done and also helping so big in the Golden Game.
And we're back with 3 matchups, 12:30, 4 p.m., 7:30 p.m., same times as today, tables 1 and 2 here on Major League Table Tennis channel, over on Adam Bobro's channel for the Adam Cast. Again, more great matches coming up. We're going to see who comes out on top, East or West, tomorrow. Thank you for joining me and Sean here on Table 1, and we'll see you back again tomorrow for more Major League Table Tennis action.